Let's see, where did I put my sewing kit? I know I had it with me last night because I was watching Netflix and making a plush at the same time. Did I leave it at Pickfairy's place or somewhere in the Ring of Friendship? Well, let's see if it's at Pick's place first.
Pick's log, channel number 021718. It's the 12th day of my journey in bettering my cooking. Though I am no novice, I am no expert either. Developing my skills within mixing was thought to be improving, until I put baking soda in my omelette. The biggest struggle has to be serving it all nice and hot. It has to be the perfect mixture of timing and... Strange. I wasn't expecting anyone. I wonder who it could be. Oh, hey there, Bright.
Hiya, Pick. Hope you don't mind the surprise visit. I misplaced my sewing kit and was wondering if I might have left it here last night.
Oh, well, I haven't seen it. Sorry about that.
Hey, Pick, would you like to help? Oh, hey there, Bright.
Hey, Cosmo. Since you're here, have you seen my sewing kit?
I'm pretty sure you left them at the ring last night while we were hanging out. I think I may have misplaced one of my paintbrushes.
Well, that does make sense, and I'm sorry to hear about your brush.
We were up pretty late watching Hilda.
That we were. Man, was it intense. And somehow even better than the first season in terms of themes, character development, and cool creatures.
Hey, want to review it while we go back to find our missing things?
Why, I thought you'd never ask.
That does sound like a bright idea.
You should really close that door. It's drafty in here.
Okay.
What can we say about Hilda besides how amazing it is?
No doubt it stands out from other shows, with its unique animation style and character design, and its use of fantasy, action, and adventure, appealing to kids and adults alike.
I'll have to say, I didn't expect how original the show would become. A young girl outside in the wild. It's natural to assume she'll sneak off to be back into the wild, but it became natural for the wild to be a part of her. The more I get to know Hilda, the more I see who she is.
The more I get to see the story progress, I can spot very relatable and familiar themes.
The more I see Trollberg and its surroundings, the more I want to discover what the rest of the world offers.
Let's dive into this BLT style. Bright idea with our lovely Cosmo and me as the terrific Pick.
Don't cut off the crust of this sandwich. You'll enjoy every bite.
Trust me, you'll loaf it. What?
This show surrounds a young girl named Hilda, as the title may suggest. As our main protagonist, she drives the story forward. Throughout Season 1, and most recently Season 2, you can start to see her maturing as a young adult. There are challenges that we all face in our day-to-day lives, but hers is a bit more involved. Yet, she's not alone. Here's the full cast of this fantastic show of Hilda. Now, what's an adventure without its animal companion? Twig stands as basically the family's pet, a deer fox that immediately marks the fantasy aspect of the show. The first aspect I saw right away was his kindness. Twig isn't one to just fight, but he cares for others. Most of all, he cares for Hilda. He isn't one to leave anyone's side either. As his second aspect is his loyalty. He stands beside her and our friends through trials aplenty. The most least expected but welcomed sidekick? Bring in Alfer. With his small size comes bigger actions. Alfer became a staple of the show shortly after being introduced. Another kick in the fantasy genre, he's an elf. No, not the elves from Eldamar, nor elves from the North Pole, but elves of the extreme practice of secrecy and paperwork, and did I mention their height? They range to inches, not feet. These elves are actually invisible to the naked eye, so you would miss them, unless they needed you to see them. It involves a little bit of paperwork. My favorite aspect of Alfer? His ability to recognize the situation. He can analyze the room and characters efficiently, so to speak. Alfred helps by being the head of reason to the group, a valuable asset. He's not afraid to ask for help though, hence why he first reaches out to Hilda earlier in the story. Being able to admit your faults can stand, but I admire that Hilda helps build up his strengths. Family of any character can be a hassle to write, let me tell you. Conveying a realistic mother and daughter relationship? This show knocks that out of the park. Enter Joanna, a single mother that does what she can for Hilda. It's easy to see where she gets her high spirits from, because Joanna's positive attitude seems almost endless. Her aspects of love for Hilda shimmer and glow fondly. She admires Hilda's love for adventure, wary of its limits and consequences. Her faith in Hilda comes from knowing Hilda's capabilities, yet she knows that Hilda is still just a young girl. Unfortunately, as a mother, she can't always be the best friend. In order to be the best parent, you have to be the adult sometimes. To be the adult is complicated. Though Hilda has the best intentions, Joanna looks to the bigger picture. In the beginning of the series, she makes the choice to move into the big city so the two of them can move on. She isn't oblivious to Hilda's discomfort, the wild girl that she is. Them moving away from the forest and their home was difficult. But Joanna isn't perfect either. Her own faith in Hilda sometimes proves to be too reserved, too restricted sometimes, as she tries to keep Hilda narrow. But it's a mother's love, and with a daughter's heart, together, a single family's struggles are introduced. Going into the big city meant a big change to their environment and the setting, which also meant change in community. Hilda comes into a new world, something that defines the story. A girl of the wild, now in the concrete jungle that is Troyberg. And what do children do in the city? They attend school.
Boo.
Ah, come on. School isn't all too bad. School comes with work, true. Teachers and assignments galore. But it comes with other kids just like you. Well, maybe not entirely like you, or like Hilda either. Welcome, Frida and David. Two new friends that become worthy allies. David comes into play as the cautious young boy that doesn't wish to bother others. He doesn't want to be out of place. He doesn't want to meet a troll for dinner. He'd rather leave an IOU and order it dessert. While Frida, she isn't one to be messed with, because Frida always plans ahead and has a plan already in motion. She's the sharp-witted gal that's ready to help. The top-tier student in class, unexpectedly, joins Hilda. She comes to love adventures and nowadays doesn't leave the house without supplies. David and Frida come to learn about Hilda before joining her, and neither of them expected to have their lives changed just from one little girl just like them. Well, almost, kinda, not almost, but almost. Hilda stands as a very strong protagonist, Twig alongside her, Alfred on her shoulder, with David and Frida on the ready. With a cast like that, you want to know more. Take it away, you two.
From the first episode, it's well established that Hilda is all about growing up in a strange, fantastical world, adapting to big changes that most anybody can relate to, and helping others by solving problems and resolving conflicts. The show is targeted at a young audience, though older viewers can certainly get a great deal out of watching it too. Growing up, one learns all sorts of things: how to make friends, coexist with nature, treat others with respect, and know the difference between when to fight and when to keep the peace. Hilda is a little girl living in a big world, and she finds herself dealing with people and creatures of all shapes and sizes. As they learn about different cultures, histories, and legends, Hilda and her friends are able to help each other take on such relatable challenges as facing your fears, staying calm under pressure, using diplomacy whenever possible, and being able to fight when necessary. What a concept! However, Hilda is by no means a perfect role model. She's as impulsive as she is brave, as selfish as she is polite, and as often as she helps others, she's also an occasional source of stress and annoyance to her friends, her classmates, different creatures, and her mom. Of course, she's still just a little kid, learning about a fantastical world and finding her place within it. In the first season, she goes through some major life changes, moving from the wilderness to the city of Trollberg and making new friends with humans and creatures alike. She learns about being sensitive to others' feelings, doing proper research, and having a healthy respect for authority, subverting it and following it when the situation calls for it. In the second season, the show focuses a lot more on Hilda's unhealthy habit of keeping secrets, from her mom especially. Hilda isn't shy about posing such difficult questions as, should one hide the truth in order to protect others, or keep them from worrying? When is lying the right thing to do, and when does it go too far? How does one tell the difference between a white lie and a harmful one? It also touches on having a healthy amount of fear versus being paralyzed by it or ignoring it completely, giving people the benefit of the doubt and whether to trust them or not, and letting go of those you care about. Hilda is one of those rare shows that makes you think and ask questions not only about the characters, world, and plot and how they work together as a fictional creation, but about what the characters learn and experience and how they can inform or inspire us in our own lives to be smarter, kinder, braver people.
So, Season 1 showed us that the world of Hilda is diverse in its world with some of the creatures that inhabit it. Season 1 showed us that there are owls like Alfred, thunderbirds like Raven, and deer foxes like Twig. There are also giants, trolls, wafts, heck, even a lindworm. I would like to talk about a few of these amazing species that inhabit the world of Hilda. Let's talk about the Vitra. They are a part of my own family history, playing a part in Norway, Denmark, other Scandinavian countries. They often took the place of trolls in other parts of these countries. They are also known as Vitor or Vitar. In both the show and in lore, they would spend most of their lives underground, rarely interacting with humans, but are fearsome when engaged. Also, on a fun side note, these creatures remind me of the mandrakes from Harry Potter or Oddish from Pokemon, even though they don't have any relations. Now, the furry balloons, known as wafts, are seemingly unique to the world of Hilda. Not much is known about them except Frida mentioning that a white waft is rare, and it's where magic is more powerful within that lunar cycle. Deer fox is by far one of the coolest and cutest creatures on this list. I love that the Twig got a slice of life episode, and it's nice to see that Twig is a mythical creature in this world. In a world of all sorts of creatures, deer foxes are very rare, but not so rare they wouldn't just be a legend. Also, having these creatures be connected to the Northern Lights is way cool. It really makes them feel like the unicorns of this world. Then we have the dragon, or Dragar, as known in Danish and Norwegian lore. In Norse terminology, it is often regarded as a revenant and not as simple as a ghost. In Hilda, they are ghosts who have died at sea, but in lore they are those who, well, died in a dramatic way. But hey, I can't count their design.
I see what you did there. That pun is bright approved.
Lindworms are called as such based on the German words of Lind and Orm. The lindworm in history sees its roots from Denmark and even the Saxons to Germany and even Iceland. So dang, stories really do make it around. As far as we know, the Florist lindworm is the only one we know of in the world of Hilda. However, we do know that lindworms must be rare due to Alfred's comments about contracts.
An elf contract is null and void if destroyed by the fire of a lindworm.
It doesn't actually mean anything. Lindworms are very rare and very paperwork averse.
Do we have any better ideas?
Nisa are different in Hilda than their folklore counterparts. In folklore, they are associated with the winter solstice and with the Christmas season. And once again, they are from Norwegian folklore. However, in the world of Hilda, Nisa are house spirits that live in your home, that seem to live in the unused spaces in your house/apartment. Speaking of Christmas, Grayla and the Yule Lads were first mentioned in the 17th century poem of Grayla. This story was used to scare kids into being good. The Yule lads are graceless kids. They were common to range from a mere prankster to a homicidal monster who eats children. Heck, the King of Denmark objected to their use of the story as a disciplinary tool. I mean, come on. The fact that the king had to get involved with that. Oi. In closing, I just want to say that the world of Hilda is very diverse and all the creatures that inhabit it have amazing, fascinating lore to follow them. Bringing me back to my own family roots, this lore and show has made my genealogical self smile inside.
His Netflix show is really something we seem to be drawn to.
If you haven't done so yet, we recommend you watch it if you want to.
Did someone say my name?
How impromptu.
I didn't expect an actual Misa to show up in our review of Hilda.
What's a review?
Oh, we were just talking all about the Netflix show Hilda.
What's a Netflix?
Don't worry, I'll let you borrow my password.
Oh, in that case, I'll let you borrow these.
Hey, isn't that the sewing kit I was looking for?
Hey, and that's my brush.
Ah, so that's how they appeared in my nowhere space.
That wraps up this mystery.
You know, I had so much fun with this review.
Let's put a pin on that and do this again sometime.